fearsome Godzilla has evolved.
The Monsterverse is financially, with no doubt at all, a successful franchise. If it wasn't successful, it probably would have ended a while ago. In nearly every other way, though, the Monsterverse is a failure, at least in my super humble opinion. The Monsterverse began in 2014 with Godzilla, a film from a decent human perspective where Godzilla himself is treated more like a mysterious natural disaster. 2017's Kong Skull Island is a human-focused story, a very good human-focused story, might I add. It portrays Kong as some kind of ancient, lonely god. 2019's King of the Monsters, while a little controversial, is my personal favorite. Maybe I've got a little bit of bias since that was the first Godzilla movie I ever saw in theaters, but I still think it's a solid movie in general. That film portrays the kaiju as mythical beings, and it does a damn good job of doing just that. 2021's Godzilla vs. Kong is where we unfortunately start going downhill. There are things I like about this movie, like Kong's side of the story and Mechagodzilla, but most human involvement in this movie is garbage and forgettable. The only thing that kinda saves it entertainment-wise is Kong's storyline and the awesome fight scenes. Godzilla x Kong is hard to save. These titans that were once portrayed as mythical creatures, lonely gods, and natural disasters are now just action figures, doing crazy stunts and getting power-ups for the sake of toy sales. The human characters are hollow and uninteresting. Godzilla has been severely sidelined for 2 of what were supposed to be crossover films, and even most of the action just isn't really all that exciting in this one. There are honestly so many problems with the current state of the Monsterverse, and I'm not really sure where to start, so I'm just gonna rattle off different issues and talk about them briefly. The Hollow Earth sucks. The Titans used to be very unique and mysterious. Hollow Earth being a big place with big animals just seems to have made them less unique and less mysterious. Overall, less interesting. At least for me. I mean, these things are literally just big dogs, what the hell? This is just a big frog, like, where's the creativity? Come on. The Hollow Earth landscape looks cool, aside from the fact it literally just feels like the surface. They literally rendered a sun into every single one of these shots and called it a day. I know that the official explanation is, oh, the crystals provide light down there, but no, stop. Crystals should provide light like this, or this, not obvious sunlight being rendered into the sky. By the way, is humanity just okay with this? We have a whole monkey civilization living down there. One of those monkeys literally came up with a giant ice dog and tried just starting a new ice age. We know that there are hostile creatures down there. Oh, but Godzilla and Kong defeated Scar King, so it's okay. Yeah, they defeated him after trampling an entire city, probably killing thousands of people in the process. You know, the Monsterverse used to worry about stuff like this. We used to actively see the military and Monarch actively trying to save people and minimizing casualties. We used to be told about all the cities that were destroyed and all the death that was caused. Godzilla's fight with the Mutos in San Francisco was treated like a 9/11 kind of disaster. Then King of the Monsters happened, and Ghidorah caused like 20 different 9/11s. I mean, come on. It would have been so interesting to watch the world try to rebuild. Watch the world debate endlessly about whether or not they could really trust creatures like Godzilla or Kong to protect them, or if Monarch was just being foolish. But no, we're just throwing all of that out the window and just never mentioning it again. Screw you. The governments of the world are just fine with letting all of this continue. It's whatever. Speaking of humans, I don't like the fact that we're clearly straying from human characters having any sense of effort put into them. It's all about the kaiju. We just gotta have big, silly CGI fights, and that's cool. I like big CGI fights, but I'm not paying for a movie ticket to see Adam Wingard smash 2 action figures together. I'm paying for this ticket to watch a story unfold. If I wanted to see nothing but a cool monster fight, I would just look up fight scenes on YouTube, or even better, support small creators creating their own fight animations on YouTube. If you only watch these movies for the fights, fine, have fun, more power to you, I really mean it. I just don't understand why. I get just wanting to turn your brain off sometimes, but like, I'm not asking for another Godzilla -1. I'm asking for literally anything, any substance worthy of my time. The only substance Godzilla x Kong has is the Kong and Zuko stuff, but that only lasts for a few minutes at most, before we're back to silly, funny playtime. And when I say worthy of my time, don't take that as me saying, oh, I'm better than these movies, I'm not just some silly child. No. I am a silly child. My favorite era of Godzilla is the Showa era, fight me. But I don't want the Monsterverse to try and be another Showa era. I want it to be the Monsterverse. I want it to do its own thing and continue staying consistent with its own grounded tone and writing. I'm not saying things need to be super serious all the time. King of the Monsters overdid the humor a little bit, but I don't mind because the movie's story and tone still works in my eyes. As long as the important stuff isn't sacrificed in favor of some stupid joke that isn't even that funny, I really don't mind. Also, hot take incoming, but I like cutaways from monster fights to human reactions. I know I should be crucified for saying something like that, but hear me out. The humans add a sense of scale to whatever scene or conflict is taking place. Let's take the Boston battle, for example. It's so amazing seeing how hopeless the human characters look as these massive godlike creatures absolutely trash everything around them. It feels so immersive, and it really makes them feel like the unstoppable gods they're being portrayed as. In 2014, Godzilla feels like a natural disaster because of the scale, because of how his mass interacts with the humans and the rest of the scene. Godzilla feels like a mythical godlike creature in King of the Monsters because, again, his mass interacts with the characters and the rest of the scene in a specific way. It just works. It impacts the scene in a whole new way. It makes the fight feel so much bigger and more important. Godzilla x Kong, for example, the final fight in Rio, lacks any of that impact. It doesn't feel very important. It just feels like, again, Adam Wingard smashing a bunch of his action figures together. That's all it feels like. That's all it looks like. They just feel like superheroes. We're in the KCU, the Kaiju Cinematic Universe. Why would you change the tone like this? Why would you just totally sideline Godzilla? I get giving Kong a spotlight, but you can still do that without making Godzilla into a nothing character, a shell of his former self. The Avengers movies literally have to juggle multiple characters, and most of them manage to make it feel like all the characters get their proper time and development. Why can't the Monsterverse do that for two big monsters? Anyway, I'm done ranting about this. I'm like tired or something. Like and subscribe.